welcome back to my channel. My name is Siam Dolo. Thank you so much for coming through. I hope that you have subscribed. If you haven't, then please do and join this family. It's been a while. Happy New Year. So I went AWOL because at some point I just wasn't okay emotionally. So I prioritized my mental health. I wasn't in a good space to have conversations because I started this space so that we can have conversations. So yeah, it's still not anything professional. It's still just me behind my phone. Still don't have professional cameras, and just being here because I'm a conversationalist and I love to have conversations. So I feel like I'm gonna enjoy it better now. I'm more chilled, and yeah. There is gonna be a segment though that is gonna be professionally short and whatnot, because I'm gonna be starting a podcast, which will also be on my YouTube channel. And otherwise, it's the usual conversations, and then the usual things that I love, like we're gonna be doing book reviews, and we're gonna be reviewing some shows. But like I said before, when I do show reviews, it's not just gonna be about the show, but it's just gonna be something that I take from that show and start a conversation. So there's nothing much. I think this is just a welcome back video. Welcome back to myself. You know, a lot of you have been asking me, when am I coming back? My camera lady is looking at me still like, yeah, we know that's what everyone says, a lot of you. But yeah, it wasn't a lot of you. The one or two of you that have been asking me to come back were worth it, because I love having conversations, even if it's 2 or 3 people. And that's the whole point of this channel, to have conversations, even if it's with that 2 or 3 people. So yeah, it's the new year. My pastor has already said, Duguti, it's God first this year. So even for me, like, I am so charged, and obviously everything, it's God first. Like with everything that I'm gonna do this year, it's just gonna be putting God first. My business, my personal life, my relationships, even a romantic relationship potentially. If I eventually get one, it must be about God first. So yeah, that's another thing about this channel, that I am a child of God. So there's always just gonna be God. Yeah. So I don't have much to talk about today. I just thought that maybe because it's the beginning of the year, people are doing their resolutions. Why not talk about something that I love, which is wine. Because it's the beginning of the year and people make resolutions like, oh, I'm not gonna drink anymore, and people have their reasons. When I quit drinking, it was because I became an alcoholic, if I were to put it like that. And people never really consider themselves as alcoholics when they are functional alcoholics, which means when you can still go about your day, it doesn't, affect much of what you do. But when you drink beyond the acceptable point, and you are the one who would know your acceptable point, and I know when you drink beyond that point, and it does affect 1 or 2 things in your life, where maybe you don't wake up on time, or you take most of your day, being hungover, and so with that, then you know that you may need to stop, or you may need to consult AA, because abanye, they can't even stop on my own. For me, it was cold turkey. I didn't have a problem, and I stayed off drinking for 3 years. So when I stopped, I didn't know if I was gonna come back or not. What I knew was that I don't want to do this anymore. I feel like it's just affecting who I am and how I go about. And I know which the reason behind that is the fact that I was using alcohol to numb something. I was using it as a numbing agent, and people don't realize when they do that. And that is why now I don't drink when I'm not okay, but I'm gonna talk about that just now. So because I was using alcohol as a crutch, there's many things that people use as a crutch, and I think if you use food or alcohol or sex or whatever as a crutch, then you have to stop, rethink, recoup, and decide how you're gonna go ahead from there. So because I love wine, I tried, looking for wines that were non-alcoholic, but I realized that non-alcoholic wines don't really have that taste that I love, that wine taste that I love. They usually taste like grape juice, but people did recommend some wines that really have some wine taste, but I didn't get to get them until I just felt like I just want wine. And when I did, I had to make sure that I was okay emotionally and otherwise. I had to make sure that I wasn't going back because ndiyagoa, and whatever. It was just after lockdown. It was still locked down to some degree, but it was at the time that I had said to myself that, okay, I think it's also time outside. So it was halfway through lockdown. Then I was like, okay, I think I can. I think at that time, that's when they started opening up for alcohol a bit. And I was like, okay, let me get myself some wine and chill, child. And I did, and I drank, and I was okay. So I then figured, Guti, maybe I should talk about this, because one of my worries when I had gone off drinking was, Uguti, would I be able to go back and not be an alcoholic? So I needed someone to answer that for me truthfully, someone who's been there, not someone who's talking from theory, someone who's been there, who says, I was once an alcoholic, and now I can drink and still, have self-control. And I did, I tried, and it was okay. In the beginning, it was a bit sketchy because before I was used to drinking past a certain point. So I noticed in the beginning that, I was kind of like, drinking past that point. And then I had to keep taking a step back and looking at it, okay, can I, until I understood my limits. And then when I understood my limit, then it became chill. So like now I can actually, okay, I think there's gonna be a bit of noise. So now I can actually have wine. I usually have wine in the house. I usually have, this takes 6 bottles. So I usually have the 6 here. I usually have the 6 here decorating, and I'll have that 1 bottle like once in a blue moon. So I can go for like weeks. Like I can go for weeks without having any wine. Usually when I'm thirsty, if it's like during the week or maybe on a Saturday or Sunday, I feel a bit thirsty, then I usually just buy a drink, like maybe a premix or a cider, something that I can have 1 or 2 of. But when I feel like some wine, that's when I'll take a bottle and then I'll have it. But I hardly ever have the wine because wine, it makes me, but it dehydrates. So when I'm gonna have wine, I need to make sure that maybe the next day I'm not gonna go anywhere, whatever. But also when I'm having wine, it's because there's a certain feeling that I wanna get, which is I wanna be a bit merry. I wanna be a bit merry, So because of that, then I must be in a good space for that. And so so I have it when I know that I'm in a good space to be merry. But one thing that I don't do at all is to drink when I'm not okay. Even now, if I'm not okay, I do not go close to anything that has alcohol. The reason for that is because I saw what it did, and the reason for that is that also, Uguti, there's always going to be problems in life. So once you get yourself used to the fact that when you're not okay, then you have a drink, then it means every time you're not okay, then you're gonna drink. And because there's always problems, like, so if you're having problems every day, then you're gonna drink every day. Now there's an issue of people who do have wine every day. People will say when they come back from work, they have a glass or two every day. I think that's okay, because then it's just a glass, it's just 2 glasses. So you're not even gonna be merry, you're just gonna be like, it's just that, unwind or whatever. So I think that's okay for those people. I don't do that. Like, I don't just come home and say, oh, I want a glass. When I feel like I want something, it's usually because I want something cold and I want something that's just gonna relax me quickly. So that's when I'll get like a premix or a cider. But I don't relax with wine like, oh, I'm gonna have that 1 glass. If I'm relaxing with wine, it's because I want to chill. So now I have wine by bottle, so I'm likely to finish the whole bottle, and that's my limit, and I'm okay with it. So for another person, a bottle is too much. For me, it's very much okay. So that's why, like, I would hardly maybe have a glass, because a glass for me would really be nothing. It would really be like me getting a cider just to relax. And I enjoy like having my wine, relaxing. So that's why it becomes a bottle, because a bottle of wine is like 3 glasses. And by 3 glasses, I don't mean like 3 full glasses, like wine level glass. So so because of that, then I enjoy just having it by bottle, chilling and sipping, Netflixing, and be like, okay, child, this is what I'm doing, until I feel like, okay, now I'm merry, I can go and sleep. I usually almost always drink in the house, which is another thing that I've had people talk about, that they don't want to drink alone because drinking alone means maybe you have a drinking problem. No, that's not true. Like, I enjoy my own company. I enjoy having my drink alone. It's even nicer when I'm having it with friends, which happens once in a blue moon also, because I hardly ever have company. I hardly ever go to people. But when I do go to friends, then like we'll chill and have wine and be merry and be ratchet and do whatever. But like generally for me, when I do have my wine, I will be alone, and that doesn't mean I have a drinking problem. So if you enjoy having your bottle or your glass or 2 glasses of wine alone, it doesn't mean you have a problem. So that's basically my relationship with alcohol now. So to answer the question, for anyone who may be thinking of maybe quitting alcohol and they are worried that they love wine, they would want to come back one day, but they are not sure because of where they are now. They don't see themselves like coming back and being disciplined and having self-control. I can promise you that you actually can. I've done it. It has worked for me. But this needs you to be true to yourself. So if you do come back and you realize that it's not working, then it's not working. Maybe it's time for you to just, go off altogether. So yeah, guys, that's just about it. I'm gonna try and be here as often as possible so we can have these chilled conversations. I'm hoping that I'll be able to upload something at least weekly, maybe twice a week if things go well. And yeah, so do subscribe and make sure that you join this family. Follow me on my socials. It's Siya Mtolo on Facebook, Instagram, and what's that thing? TikTok. I'm on TikTok. Being myself. I feel like the best version of myself on TikTok. So yeah, and then if any changes to those, because some of those handles may change because I'm gonna prioritize Dame Stella Rise. So I'm gonna talk more about that when that time comes. Otherwise, for now, bye.